What's going on, guys? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon NFL video, part 2 of 32. We're going to break down every single team before the fantasy football season starts. I do know some of you guys have already been drafting, which in my eyes is a little early. For example, Cam Akers getting hurt a couple of days ago. People have already drafted him pretty damn high. So normally, and I've had a bunch of questions on Twitter. You can follow us at advisors_team, but a lot of people have asked, when is the best time to draft? So it really depends on a lot of factors. Is it a redraft league? Is it a dynasty? What is it? So it really depends. Normally, I like to wait as long as humanly possible. So I like to get in there right around Labor Day weekend, which is, the week before it starts. That way the preseason's done and most of the injuries are out of the way. We know who's there. The ADPs have changed. The depth charts, the starters have been named, everything like that. So that is my 2 cents. It depends on, I know you guys really are excited for fantasy football. We're excited for fantasy football. Season-long DFS, we're really excited for it. And I know you want to draft. Do mock drafts. If you need that fix right now, do those mock drafts. Get that done. Figure it out. Look at the ADPs. Look at all of that stuff. And get your fix that way before, really drafting the teams that really matter. So we're going to continue the trend in this division. We did, if you haven't seen it before, I will link the Chiefs breakdown at the end of this video, so you can click on that. We'll check that out. That has an article as well. This has an article here. In the article, we do discuss the offseason transactions, their draft. So you can see who got drafted, and we could go from there. So a little bit more in there that I won't touch in this video. In this video, really, we're going to break down the entire team. We're going to look at the impact players on offense. Not so much defense. We're not really focused on IDPs. We really do focus for DFS purposes, offense. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at the depth chart. We're going to look at stats from last year. We're going to look at our matchup tool as well, which you can find right here on the screen, which I will make bigger. This is on the website and obviously will be updated moving forward. But looking at that, we're going to jump in here, see all of the stats for the quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends in the season from last year for the Las Vegas Raiders in this video. So if you need paper, pen, you just need to listen. That's awesome. If we could get this to have 50 likes on the video, that would be amazing, guys. Share this video. All of our social media you can check out. We're going to have running some contests leading up until kickoff, which is less than 2 months away. We're super excited about it. And I believe opening night is the 12th. It's somewhere in September. But what I'm going to do is we're going to see about some contests leading up there to get you guys some free content as well. So without further ado, let's jump right into looking at your 2021 Las Vegas Raiders. So just kind of looking at this. Now, obviously, these are the stats from last year. Derek Carr, a lot of people are on him. A lot of people are off him. I get that. I completely understand that. But let's look at the depth chart. We can check it out. We can even look at injuries. We can look at a lot of stuff here. So just looking at you guys can't see it. Let me make this bigger. Okay. So just kind of looking at the quarterback situation. We know, unless he gets hurt, Derek Carr is going to be your starter. We've got Marcus Marietta, who came in when Carr kind of got hurt last year. Didn't do too bad. Nathan Peterman's there. He just re-signed. He's 99% going to be inactive every single game this season, I would assume. But looking at that, we got running backs Josh Jacobs. Love Josh Jacobs. Came through for us big time last year. Season long and DFS-wise. Absolutely love that. Kenyan Drake is coming in here from the Cardinals. I don't know. Definitely, he is one that I think can vulture some touchdowns from Josh Jacobs. I still think Jacobs is going to be a top 10 running back moving in by the end of the season as long as he stays healthy. Kenyan Drake can come in there. Kenyan Drake, I don't know how many people are... Well, obviously you would handcuff Jacobs with Kenyan Drake in season long. DFS, if you make multiple lineups, if you're one of those multi-entry lineup people, then obviously you could have, your Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, John Brown stacks, and then if you want to flip it back and put Kenyan Drake in there instead of Jacobs in multiple lineups on when there's good options and a good matchup for him, I completely understand that. Do not think that's a bad idea. I just don't know what we're going to look at. I think Kenyan Drake's going to be, kind of the same role he had in Arizona when he wasn't the starter. So kind of looking at it that way. Jalen Richard's always one that can come in. Third down back can come in there. He's pretty much moved from the second string to the third. And then Theo Riddick comes in here. Don't know how much he's really going to get in. Now, also, whenever you watch this video, it is July 22nd right now. This depth chart probably will change. Theo Riddick could be, Richard, Riddick, anyone on this team could be let go by the time you watch this video. So that being said, it is July 22nd when we were filming, when we were looking at the stats, and when we were looking at the people right here. So then moving to the wide receivers, wide receiver 1, Henry Ruggs the third, really came on last year. I think he's going to build on that. Hunter Renfrow did as well. Trey Quinn, Keelan Doss as the fourth. We're really going to struggle. We're not going to see a lot of these names unless we do see some injuries there. Wide receiver Brian Edwards there, wide receiver 2 starter. You got Zay Jones behind him, Caleb Scott, Dylan Stoner. Don't know how much we're going to see Scott or Stoner really at all, if they're even on the team, or maybe they get pushed to the practice squad by then. John Brown does come in here. He is getting a downgrade from Josh Allen as his quarterback. I get that. He's still good. So looking at that, Willie Sneed coming in. I don't want to say he's getting an upgrade with quarterbacks in Derek Carr upgrading from Lamar Jackson, but in a sense he is. Lamar Jackson really, it wasn't that... Lamar Jackson is a runner first more than a quarterback. Then he's got all those targets that he had to. Willie Sneed didn't really show a lot what we're looking at. I don't know. Kind of looking at Willie Sneed, I think he could be sneaky in this one. We know he's athletic. We know when he has a quarterback that throws to him, he can make some big plays. We saw that when he was in New Orleans. Looking at this, I could see him overtaking Bryan Edwards. I think I honestly could see after training camp, after the preseason, I could see a Ruggs, Sneed, Brown 1, 2, 3 right there. I think he's going to get in there. We know he's athletic. I really like Willie Sneed this year. Would I draft him in my season long? It'll depend. Really depends on where you end up. These ADPs are going to... I think he could outperform whatever his ADP is currently when you're watching this video. Then we move to tight end. Darren Waller, what is he? Top 3 tight ends? If Kittle stays healthy, it goes Kelsey, or apparently we've all been saying his name wrong this entire time. Apparently it's pronounced Kels, unless he's messing with us. So we've got Travis Kelce, number 1. George Kittle, number 2, if he stays healthy. Number 3, Darren Waller. Don't mind that at all. Foster Moreau could come in there. Foster Moreau and Derek Carrier, they can... Depends on garbage time. It depends on how they line up, if they're really far down, if they're really far up, where they're at. That's when Moreau comes in. That's when Derek Carrier comes in. I don't think we're going to see much of Alex Ellis at all. And that's really the depth chart of starters that you would be using in DFS or season long. And then obviously we have the offensive lines, and we have the defensive lines, special teams. Daniel Carlson there. Hunter Renfrow, Henry Ruggs, special teams. If you're looking for punt returns, kick returns, those get points as well. Defense, special teams.
if they're in a good spot there. And then Daniel Carlson if you are getting kickers, but kickers they're there. We know what they're looking at. Current injuries on the Raiders, just kind of looking if it'll load. Not much, which is good to see. Kamal Seymour, offensive tackle, reverted to the reserve non-football injury list. That was May 27th. We haven't seen anything from there, so that's kind of good there. Transactions, kind of looking at the transactions over the year, who might on offense might come through and maybe make a difference. But looking in July, there's been nothing. June, really nothing there. And if I miss anyone because you are a Raiders fan or you just know, let me know. I would love to know if I missed anybody. In May, though, Caleb Scott, it's not really going to make a difference there. Dylan Stoner, stuff like that. Back in April, they signed Casey Hayward, so, it's going to help, but it's not going to help us with fantasy or DFS. So, Willie Sneed is I think the biggest offseason acquisition that will make an impact season-long wise. So just kind of looking at the Raiders offense. Now, obviously, this is going to be last year. Some of these players might not be on the team. That is why we've put the matchup tool out there. So I'll look at the matchup tool. I'll show you, and we'll go through there. And we'll in that matchup tool, if you don't know what it is a massive tool that we use every single week. I hand do all the stats. I come to ESPN. I get all the stats. I do it by hand. I don't web scrape. If you guys know of a web scraper to get these stats that is free. I had one, but you could only use it for like a day and then it didn't work. And you couldn't make a new account. It was to your IP, which kind of was stupid. There's a lot of work around there. But just kind of looking. Marcus Marietta came in for one game. That's when Derek Carr really hurt his groin, but he was out, barely out. Just kind of looking at this. Josh Jacobs going over 1,000 yards. Devontae Booker was there. Jalen Richard, Marcus Mariota, Theo Riddick in 4 games. So not a lot to go over. We do know, obviously, Waller, 1,196 yards on the team, led the team in yards. That's why I think he's the number 2. Could make a story for number 3. Could make a run for number 2, depending on health on everybody else. So looking at that. So a lot of things with the Raiders. I don't necessarily like them overall. Choose them, pick them, look at them. Then you can, get into the DFS wise, and we'll go over the fantasy points and stuff like that afterwards. Just kind of looking at their schedule. Preseason, not going to worry about that at all. Looking at regular season, week 1 against Baltimore, Monday, September 13th. So they get Monday Night Football to start the season. I don't like this. Just kind of looking at this, Baltimore, if they're healthy, which they should be, should take this game easily. So I think they could start 0-1 there. Week 2 against Pittsburgh. Depending on how healthy Ben Roethlisberger is, Steelers, I think this could be close. I still think Steelers could take this. I think they start 0-2. Miami's the one where I'm just not really sure. What 2 are we going to get? Are they going to be healthy? Are they going to have a running game? Are they going to have a wide receiver game? What's the game going to be? This one will be a toss-up. I do think they could take Miami in this one. We'll be looking at that. Week 4, they have another Monday Night Football game against the Chargers. I don't think they can take that one. Number 5, or Week 5 against Chicago. This is the one. Depends on who the starter is. If it's Andy Dalton, I don't think so. If it's Justin Fields and they're healthy and they've got a running game and everything, I think Chicago could take this one. So this one's also up in the air, but I'm going to give the advantage to Chicago there. Number 6 against Denver. Don't know who the quarterback's going to. Is it going to be Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. That's one, little bit concerned about. It's in Denver. I can see the Raiders taking this one, though, but it really depends on who the starting quarterback is for Denver. Week 7 against Philly. I think Philly will take that one. Week 9 against the Giants. If Saquon is healthy, I think the Giants take that. Week 10 against the Chiefs. I don't think they have a chance. Now, this will be the first time that the Raiders will have fans in the stands in Vegas.
Well, barring, anything else moving forward. I know California has the mask mandate back, so we'll see. But Vegas should be good to go with full stands. So we'll see. Number 11 against the Bengals. If Joe Burrow is healthy, I still think the Raiders will take this one. Number 12 against Dallas. If Dak is healthy, I think Dallas feasts. 13 Washington. Still, I think they'll beat Washington. Week 14 against Chiefs again. I don't think they will win that one. Week 15 against the Browns. This one is very intriguing. I think the Browns could take this one, though. Week 16 against Denver. Again, we don't know who the quarterback situation is. Week 17 against the Colts. Looking at that, Carson Wentz. I think Wentz takes that one. And Week 18 against the Chargers. I think the Chargers take that one again. So, breaking down the schedule there, we will now move over to the matchup tool. So I will remove my webcam so you guys can see this a little bit better as I bring it forward. So what I do here is this is the matchup tool that you'll find on the website every single week. It is more focused on DFS, but we actually have fantasy points per game season long as well. So just kind of looking at this for quarterbacks, for instance, we show that this is the defense, and these are the points and what they were given up last year on average. Okay? So, looking at this, let's find, for instance, we'll find this. We'll go down here. Finding the Raiders. Playing Baltimore. Last year, Baltimore was they gave up a total of 269.68 fantasy points to the quarterback position. They were one of the best defenses. Now, I do realize between last year and this year, everything that's gone on, the draft, injuries, stuff like that, defenses are going to be different, but all we have to go off of is last year's stats. So, looking at this, we've broken it down. So fantasy overall, they only gave up 292.7 DraftKings points and 280.2 FanDuel fantasy points. Then we break it down even further. We look at how many fantasy points per game were the Baltimore Ravens defense giving up. 16.9 fantasy points per game overall. 18.3 on DraftKings, 17.5 on FanDuel. That is not enough to pay for quarterbacks. So looking at that, we do have, Derek Carr, and we go through all of the stats there: games, completions, attempts, completion percentage, how many yards he threw for, touchdowns, interceptions, sacks, stuff like that. So when you break it down there, and then we go, let's select all here. Then, with this chart, you will be able to sort it by how many fantasy points per game, how many DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever you're playing. So let's say, for instance, you're playing on FanDuel. So it is already sorted by who has given up the most amount of fantasy points, moving there. And as you can see, Baltimore, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They are the 9th worst one to go against. So Derek Carr doesn't have the best matchup in week 1. So that's all this is week 1, kind of breaking it down. You can kind of look at it. And obviously this will be updated throughout. But again, week 1, what we're looking at, Derek Carr might not be the best overall for you this, week 1. Moving to running backs here, then you kind of want to look at the Raiders are here. And what I've done is with quarterbacks, we obviously do the, only one. With running backs, depending on, who it is, what team it is, how their scheme normally goes, 1, 2, or 3 running backs on the team. Normally it's about 2. So as you can see right now, the Raiders, and we've got Josh Jacobs number 1, Kenyan Drake number 2 there. Then if you want, you can sort it by opponent, and then again you go down here, you go to Las Vegas. Where'd it go? I passed it. Or Raiders. Okay. So looking at this, the Ravens defense overall, again, they were a really good defense. They were able to stop the rush.
only 16.7 fantasy points on average, 22.6 on DraftKings. They gave up a little bit more on DraftKings, but the scoring is different there. And then FanDuel fantasy points, 19.2. So then, again, overall, we can do that. Then we can take this. It's already by FanDuel. So if you look down at FanDuel, Baltimore does give up some points here to the position. You guys really can't see it. So, looking at Baltimore here, and, you know, Josh Jacobs, Kenyan Drake, looking at them overall, both played 15 games last year. Josh Jacobs had 273 attempts with 1,000 yards. Kenyan Drake almost had 1,000 yards himself. Josh Jacobs with 12 touchdowns, Drake with 10. These are catches, so you've got 33 of 45 for 238 yards, no touchdowns, receiving touchdowns. Same with Drake. Overall, we've added that as well. So what we do is we do the rushes, we do the targets, then you combine those for total touchdowns. Then, even on here, we how many fantasy points per game they were averaging last year, both on DraftKings and FanDuel as well. So there's a ton of things. If this is something that interests you, hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and all I ask you guys for is a sub and a like on the videos that we do. Also, check out fantasyteamadvisors.com. The more people go there, the more traffic I see, the more I know you guys want to see this stuff. So kind of looking at that, just kind of going down here and seeing how they were. Last year, Josh Jacobs and Kenyan Drake were averaging the same, which is crazy. Averaging the same there. So looking at that, if you guys have questions, I will try to answer them. Any questions about the Raiders, get those down below. We'll try to answer those as well. Again, on Twitter, @advisors_team. Moving over to the wide receiver position here for the Raiders. Where are the Raiders? So Baltimore Ravens here. They were only given up but the Ravens defense gave up 35.7 fantasy points to the on DraftKings per game, and 28.1 on FanDuel. So we're looking at this. We are looking at Henry Ruggs here. You've got Brian Edwards. You've got John Brown. Again, Willie Sneed coming in. I really like Willie Sneed here. We'll kind of see how it shakes out. It's really hard to make. But again, like I said, if you guys make multiple lineups on FanDuel or DraftKings, and you make multiple for the same team and you just do different personnel, that's how you take tournaments down. Stacking in NFL will take tournaments down. We did have a subscriber a few years back that won $25,000 by taking our advice on one of our weekly videos of stacking the Saints. And he won $25,000. I believe he was like 3 fantasy points off from first place and $50,000. Not sure if he still watches these videos or still plays, but that is a fantastic opportunity watching these videos and winning money. So, looking at that, we'll move to tight end here. We'll look at tight end, Raiders. Baltimore, they're pretty good against the tight end position. Only gave up 12.2 fantasy points per game on DraftKings, 9.7 on FanDuel. Darren Waller, we know he was the second best, or he was the second best wide receiver or tight end there. While they were giving up 12.2 on DraftKings and 9.7 on FanDuel, Darren Waller was averaging 22.7 DraftKings fantasy points and 17.6 FanDuel fantasy points. So he is in a great spot. While the Ravens defense was able to do a lot, tight end was one where they weren't able to stop a ton. So that is looking at that. Then we obviously have defense versus quarterback, red zone passing. That will all be updated as well. But yeah, that is a lot. I know we covered the Ravens. Just kind of looking, it'll really depend on if they get any more personnel, if they make any more trades, if they sign anyone between now and training camp. Training camps about to start. Preseason starts. When was that? Preseason starts August 14th. So, yeah, we are 3 weeks away. So, I'm really excited. Football is our favorite. We do want to do a Fantasy Team Advisor season-long league again. It's on Yahoo if you guys are interested. You can email me, support@fantasyteamadvisor.com. We'll look at that. We'll go through if you have any questions at all. Just let me know if you are interested in the season-long, and if you are, what the buy-in you would like. So in the past, we've done both $50 buy-in 1 year and $100 buy-in 1 year. And it was the top two that won their money. Well, I think top two won and third place got their money back. I don't know. It's something we can discuss. But if that's something you're interested in, you want another season-long league, you must pay before we draft, but we haven't had a problem with that before. Again, fantasyteamadvisors.com is the website. You can follow us on all social media at advisors_team on Twitter. And if you go to Fantasy Team Advisors right here, all of our information is here. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and here on our YouTube page. So, if this video was helpful, guys, if we broke it down for you, what would you like to see in these? Let me know. But if it was helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, bell notification, and hopefully we're able to dominate with you, for you, not against you, in the 2021 fantasy football season, both season-long and DFS. FanDuel, DraftKings, we are back, baby. Let's go.